I think it was the ambition, the hard working, and discipline. That's what really took me out of the justice system, because I had a record for 1 year. That was one of the stipulations for like me to have my record removed. I had to. It was an absolute discharge, meaning that I had to plead guilty because it would be more costly if I went to trial, for example. So my lawyer and me were able to figure out, like, you know what, if I do take a guilty plea, I would one, have to satisfy a bunch of conditions that I already did, but the other stipulation was that I had to hold a record for 1 year. And people don't know this unless you had a criminal record, is that it's so hard to get a job. It's so hard to even like walk into an interview thing and they're like, yeah, this and that, and then they have to criminal record check you. And I had that like when I was 22. So like, mind you, I finished university and COVID happened, and it was so hard to even get a job in the first place with COVID. But even after COVID too, I had that 1 year stipulation. I think I was able to overcome everything in like 2023 or 2022, one of the two. But I couldn't even get a job. Like, and it wasn't even like I wasn't the same person I was mentally. They just didn't like the record. I kept knocking on doors. That was my thing. I didn't give up. So I literally, at the time, the record actually helped me apply for different roles and different things that I didn't even have an interest in, for example. I was just doing it to get my foot through the door, to get something really, right? So I was working, ironically, I worked at a law office and a government job with a criminal record. And those are just coming from all the other experiences that I got denied for. So there was a TDSB job, for example, right? I think it was like a light teaching thing or something when I was like 22, 23. I went through it. I was almost at the last stage, because you know how it is. They tell you to go through these rounds of interviews. So I got it to the last round, and they're like, you know what, we're really impressed. And you know what, they're like, can you like do a vulnerable sector check? So vulnerable sector means that they're gonna pull up your record if they do a background check. So I told the person, I was like, you know what, like, you know, I really do want this job, but I just want to let you know that I do have a criminal record, right? But it's a non-violent offense. It's gonna be gone after a year, really. She's like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the person that is like in charge of like that to see if it's fine. I never heard back from them. They didn't even tell me like, hey, this was the reason why you didn't. They just ghosted me. They're just like, I guess they didn't want to deal with that, but they didn't even give me the courtesy of like letting me know. So I was very like distraught by that. And after that, I just started like, before I even started the interview, I let them know that I have a criminal record, because that's how fed up I was. Imagine you did all those interviews, you think the last step, you got denied. So I'd rather get denied at the first minute, you know? So at least I could just walk home right there and then, if they're not willing to give me that, right? So ironically, at this government job, I thought it was like, you know, when you apply for something months before and then they call you back after and you're like, I'm already suffering, right? Like, I don't need a job at this point, I need a therapist. But I got a random private number call, and I was just like, okay. But you know what's so funny? I asked God for a sign too. I was praying for it. I was like, you know, I need something right now. Like, I'm already at my bare minimum. I can't even afford to live at this point. And I got a call. I was like, a private number. I thought it was a prank call. You know how it is, right? So I answered. I was like, hello. And they're like, hey, we just want to know if you could do an interview. They didn't even say the job. They're like, hey, do you want to, like, because you applied for something, right? I'm like, I applied for so many things. So I was just like, okay. And I took it semi-serious though. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, you want to give me an interview on the phone? Okay. They didn't even ask any hard. I'm like, yeah, this is what I could do. This is whatever. And they're like, okay, like, we want to offer you the job. And I'm like, you want to offer me the job? I'm like, I just want to let you know, like, I have a criminal record. That's fine with you? They're like, I told them it was they're like, it was a non-violent. I said, yeah, it's non-violent. And they're like, okay, come Monday. I said, all right. And that was a job I was working overnights at LCBO, and that's a government job. They're like, nah, it's like overnights. Like, no one really wants to do this job. Like, it's overnights for 40 hours on like Christmas, like the holiday time. I said, all right, I'm not gonna complain. And I did the job, and yeah, that's how I was able to do that. And then another story was like, I got a job at a law firm. It was through the laws program that I was in high school. So that connection after the fact. So that's laws in action within schools. So it's like government, lawyers, like anything with legal, really, right? I had an interest in law. You know, I did the interview with the lady, and she asked me, and she's like, you know what, like, and I tell her, I'm like, hey, I just want to be fully transparent with you. I do have a criminal record, right? But I feel like I could do this job and I could do it well. She's like, okay, let me get back to you. And I was just like, oh man, I've heard this one before, right? I'm gonna get back to you. And I called one of my friends. Hey T, I need some advice on this job. Like, I don't know if I should tell them about this like criminal record that I have. She's like, you should. And I was just like, I've been denied so many things. I don't know if I should tell them this, right? She was like, you should just always lead with like transparency and honesty, really, right? So before I did the interview, everything, I sent her an email. I sent this lady an email and I was like, hey, thank you again for the opportunity to interview. I know that you're gonna do like a background check, so I want to, bring this up fully like transparent with you. I do have a criminal record when I was younger. It's in the process of getting deleted, but I just wanted to be open and transparent with you in regards to this. If I do get selected and I have to do a criminal record check, I just want to be open with you that I do have one, right? And I was like, okay, that was the scariest email I ever sent. She emailed me back and she's like, thank you for being honest with me. I'm gonna speak with someone and we'll get back to you. Lo and behold, she spoke with someone, she got back to me, she's like, hey, they want to still offer you the job. I said, wow. Like, I was taken back by it. And let's just say that my LinkedIn profile is getting a lot of hits because, when you're working and it was all remote, by the way. So people obviously heard about this story and they're like, some guy with a criminal record got in and, here he is working with data and stuff like that. And it's like, people wanted to associate the name with the face, right? So my LinkedIn was getting very popular. But it was just funny because it doesn't matter how old you are, whatever gossip will always be there.